it amazing how necessity is the mother of invention? In today's food-conscious world, homeowners with small spaces are looking for innovative ways that they can vegetable garden in their own small spaces at home. Karen, thank you for what you're going to be able to educate us on about gardening and hay bales.
Well, thank you for asking me, yes.
Okay.
And I hope this helps some other people too.
Okay, tell us how to do this.
Well, I started my straw bale garden for the main reason this is the best part of my yard. My backyard's shaded, and in the morning the east sun comes up and all this area gets at least 6 to 8 hours of daylight. When you start your bale gardening, you need to make sure you pay attention to what is the top of the bale and the bottom of the bale. And if you notice, the top of the bale looks like it's had a haircut. And it's each little
Right.
piece of straw, actually, it does. It looks like a straw.
Well, that was the cutter.
Yes, and when you apply the nitrogen and water it in, that's like a funnel for the
Well, what does the bottom of the bale look like?
Well, the bottom of the bale is kind of folded.
Oh, it folds it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can understand that knowing farm machinery, but
Yes.
okay, I see
But
that.
that's something I learned because
Okay.
I didn't know.
Well,
being
actually,
from
I
the
didn't know that
city.
either.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's next?
Well, and when you apply your nitrogen, then you water it in, and it's a half a cup per bale. And the whole process of conditioning the bale takes approximately 12 days. On your first and your third and your fifth day, you take a half a cup of nitrogen per bale.
Now that's ammonia nitrate.
Now this is nitrogen. Ammonia nitrate in some areas of the country you may be able to get because, but here,
The co-op.
I got this at the co-op.
Right.
And you need to make sure when you get your nitrogen, it's a 3400. It has no slow release. It's just pure nitrogen, and it has no weed.
Yeah, you don't want to choose a
inhibitors in it.
fertilizer that's got a pre-emergent in it
Yes.
to keep weeds, because that'll inhibit because
Yes.
you can plant seeds in this, correct?
Oh yes.
So
yeah.
you wouldn't want to do anything that had anything
would-
but the necessary
nitrogen.
Right. Okay. Now.
Then when you start your process, the first day, like I said, first, third, fifth day, half a cup of your nitrogen and you water in. Your second, your fourth, and your sixth day, you just do nothing but water your bale. And you make sure each time that the water is running out the bottom, so that way you know it's totally penetrated the bale. On your seventh and eighth and ninth day of the process, you apply just a fourth a cup of nitrogen per bale, and you water in. On the 10th day, you would take your general fertilizer. Now you could do a 10-10-10 general fertilizer.
Yeah, I like that one over
like
there.
this one here.
Right.
Or you can do an organic if you decide to go that way.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to do the organic. And what you would do, you apply a full cup of that per bale on the 10th day. And then you totally water that in.
Well, I wonder, because there are some organic fertilizers that you dilute in water.
Yes.
Now, I don't think that would change that process though, because you're going to water the other in anyway.
Yes, yeah. So you could still use your liquid fertilizer or
Right.
organic fertilizer.
Okay, it's very obvious, Karen, that you've thought this through. You've put down landscape fabric to keep you from having to do maintenance in between the rows, because we know that you're going to have many things grow underneath here. You've also these are very stable, your stakes that you've put in and the twine that you've wound through that. Now then, I think you're ready to begin telling us about what you've got planned to do.
Okay, yeah, you plant or put your bales in a north-south direction, so that way when the sun comes up in the east, then your leaves will have a tendency to, all the dew will get dried off of it.
That keeps your
yeah.
bacteria.
But the string I've trellised because I want my tomatoes and my squashes, and I want to be able to trellis them. And so that way it actually makes it easier for me or whoever decides to do this type of gardening to pick the fruit,
Yes.
of the work. Okay.
Well, you can do your cucumbers on it too, but
Yes.
you know, you also could grow some green beans that would come up through
I
here.
am. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a bush bean and I'm going to do a bush cucumber.
Yeah, that's
So,
good. And
but
one of your
anyway,
bales.
yeah, but I'm still leaving the trellis up because it will help kind of give support and all that to
Absolutely.
the plant. The way I dig my hole, I use just a plain old steak knife.
Well, that works, and I suppose everyone will find their way.
Yes, exactly. You go in and you just, now it does take a little bit of work. But
Well, what doesn't?
yeah, but you just, and you can tell.
You're going with the grain. You can tell when you're
Yeah.
going across.
And when
can't
you're
you?
going across, yeah. And then what you do, you pull out. And, you just kind of slice it like a steak.
Well, can you lift it out with this?
That does help, yeah. Now, I found out my fingers work better, but...
Well, I'll just
yeah,
have it here in
okay.
reserve.
Yeah, and it takes just a little bit of time to work that out.
So, in this process, then you've got your hoe. You're going to have soil.
Exactly. And you want that so the root ball is totally covered with dirt.
Okay, so you probably will put your plant in, and then you will, or just a little in the
Yeah, a little
bottom.
bit in the bottom. And then
Gotcha.
you would put your root ball
Okay.
of your plant in, and then you would top it off with
An
the soil
additional.
again. Yes.
I see. Well, you know, I think as you go through this process that anyone will learn their own little tricks. And I
Yes.
can see that you might take one of these little augers that you can plant bulbs with, and it just might do these holes.
Make the job easier.
And I realize that this is a fast forward
Yes.
process here. This bale has not been through the total.
Total conditioning
12
process.
days.
Yes. So what I've done, because I do live in this subdivision, I wanted this to be kind of pretty to the eye also.
Showcased.
Yes. And so I've done the basil in the back because it'll get kind of tall. I've done chives in the center, and that way it will have a pink blossom on it. And then I've got a flat parsley, and that'll get kind of bushy. And in the front, I've done thyme. It's thyme. And it'll grow kind of out and down. And then what you do, and this helps with the insects also, I'm going to put marigolds in the sides.
Oh,
And then, and one nice thing about the Bale gardening, it does help cut down on the insect infestation. The caterpillars and all that crawl on the ground, what they do when they come up on like a tomato plant that's got the little hairs or,
Yeah, they
or
grab
squash
hold.
plant, yeah, they grab on. The Bale tends to confuse them, and they don't know where
good.
they are. So they will tend not to come up the Bale.
well, I don't see that you've got a problem with anything. I think this has lots of possibilities
Yes.
for anything that you might want to plant.
Yes.
You might not grow corn or something like that, but it's obvious. Karen, you've taught me something. Don't tell me I've taught you everything, because this is, I think, very an easy way for someone to put this on a driveway.
Yes, you
Even.
can plant. You can put this anywhere because you're not really concerned about what's underneath it because your total container is contained in that bale.
Yeah. Now then, the one other thing is when we're finished with this next fall,
Yes.
you actually could plant, I believe, like little seeds of lettuce and extend your growing
Yes,
season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is one of the advantages of the Bale gardening. It actually extends the growing season for you.
And then, even though you've got a perennial herb in here or two, this will become a compost pile, won't it?
Exactly. When I'm finished growing my vegetables and it gets toward the end of the season, then I'll cut the straps, I'll break the straw down, and I put maybe a little bit more of ammonia nitrate or nitrogen on it to start the cooking process, and it will sit all winter. And next year, when I'm ready to put extra
Right, you've got it.
wonderful stuff in my flower garden and all that, and then I'll have a compost.
Well, guess what?
So
You-
this is called gold after
Yes,
the end of
right.
the end of the season.
Well, you call me when all these things are ready because my garden is still too wet to plow. And so you're going to have all of these things before I do.
I'm
so
gonna get a head start.
give me a call, and thank you. This has been very informative, and I think people can use it.
Thank you.